So good evening, everybody, and good morning to our friends in Taipei. Welcome to the second of our three pre-mission training courses. And tonight it's dedicated for all of you, the delegates. And once again, now that I see everybody, I couldn't see you this afternoon in our training session. So
Recording is on.
I'd like to congratulate all of you for being selected to take part in the first Canadian women-only virtual trade mission or business mission to Taiwan. So with no further ado, I just want to mention that tonight's session is fairly informal because this is for you, and if you have questions, put up your hand and we'll take the question as we go along. Is that okay with you, Dwayne and Rupert and your team? Okay. So as you all know, the Trade Commissioner Service, you heard a little bit about it from Sarah Wilshaw this afternoon, the ADM and Chief Trade Commissioner. She's the head of all the Trade Commissioner Service around the world. And we have a fabulous team in Taipei who have, from the outset, when we decided to take a delegation to Taiwan, have been very helpful and energetic. And you're very lucky because we didn't have this done for the South Korea mission, but they've offered to do this for us and focus in on some of the sector areas that all of you will represent. So in no further ado, what we're going to do is start with a tour de tab so that everybody can meet each other and so that our team in Taipei knows who you are and your company name. We don't have much time, so I ask you to limit it to 1.5 minutes, and we're going to gong you if you go beyond 90 seconds. So, okay? So we're going to start with Susan Blanchette because you were here the first. So Susan, go ahead.
So my name is Susan Blanchette, and I am the CEO of Origin Air. Most people think regular plants can't remove, or actually can remove toxins from air. However, published scientific research proves otherwise. At Origin, we have a 10-year global exclusive license to patent-pending genetically enhanced plants, which we combine with cutting-edge aeroponics and technology to remove airborne toxins, using nature as our secret ingredient. We can also remove all airborne coronavirus with one pass through our system. As part of our pandemic pivot, we onboarded UVC light sterilization. So humans consume 18,000 liters of air per day, and COVID has shown us that invisible threats can be among the most deadly. So we really believe businesses need to convert to health and safety activities and convert those into marketing and branding opportunities. So our Smart Living Air Purifier, which we call the Sentinel, features the genetically enhanced plants, the UVC light sterilization, particle filters, and a probiotic mist to put the microbiome back into a healthy state when we reintroduce the oxygen to the room. We've grown from 2 to 11 people in the last year. Our prototype is complete. We're looking to do pilot projects right now, and we're entering the $11 billion smart air purification market. So in 2020, we secured over $500,000 in pre-seed and non-dilutive funding and completed our prototype. And this year, we're bringing it to market.
Great.
So you can find me at originair.com.
And where in Canada are you from? Please identify the province that you're from.
Okay, so I'm from Victoria, British Columbia.
Very good. Thanks, Susan.
You're welcome.
Madeline.
Hello, everybody. My name is Madeline Shaw. I'm joining you from Vancouver, British Columbia. And I'm really pleased and honored to be invited to be part of this trade delegation to Taiwan. I was saying to Christine earlier that I had the good fortune to visit Taiwan in November of 2019, and we are already doing business there. Our manufacturers are based there, one of our manufacturing partners. So my company name is called ISLE, which is short for the period aisle. We were recently rebranded from LunaPads in March of 2020. LunaPads was one of the very first companies in the entire world to champion natural menstrual health. So when I say natural menstrual health, what does that mean? In our case, it looks like reusable products for your period. So we started off with cloth washable menstrual pads, expanded into period underwear. And we also now sell a proprietary branded menstrual cup, and which we'll hear about later from my colleague, Karin Chambers. And yeah, it's just a wonderful, wonderful space to be in. I've been working in it since the early 90s. And before it was kind of a thing, and now it's a thing. And it feels like menstruation and periods, there's a whole new conversation. There's a whole new suite of products. Obviously, they're relevant to close to half the population. And I'm really proud of the work that we do. And currently we work in about 40 countries. We're mostly a B2C company working online. And what else can I say? I was just happy to talk about menstruation and bodies and periods to anybody who will listen. You can learn more at periodisle.com and reach me at madeline@periodisle.com. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Madeline. Karin Mueller.
Well, that's a good segue from Madeline because I'm a mother with 4 girls, so we should talk. My name is Karin Mueller. I'm the CEO of SteroCare Incorporated. SteroCare has a non-antibiotic antimicrobial, and our first generation product is for catheter lock solutions. Infections that come from catheter lock solutions is one of the top healthcare acquired infections that we deal with every day. For those that don't know, a venous catheter looks like this. It sits in with the tip close to your heart, and it delivers important treatments like dialysis, chemotherapy, parenteral nutrition. And if you get an infection or bacteria inside this catheter, 1 out of 4 people will die from the infection, not from their disease. Now with superbugs on the rise, these infections are getting to a point where a patient, like in India, has cancer. They have to decide whether they get chemotherapy and potentially die from a superbug infection from this catheter, or they just don't get chemotherapy and die from cancer, because the risk of dying from a superbug infection is now greater than them dying of cancer itself. So it's very important that we keep these catheters free from bacteria, free from infections. That's what our solution does. We kill broad spectrum bacteria as well as superbugs, and we're not an antibiotic, we're just a disinfectant. Based in Toronto, Canada. We have been in Canada for 4 years. We're just moving out into international countries, doing some really great projects in top hospitals in the US. We're currently selling in Australia, Middle East, and Europe, and Asia is our next focus. So very, very honored to be a part of this group. Thank you.
Thank you, Karin. Mirna, or is it Mirna or? Okay, Mirna, over to you.
Thanks. And now for something completely different. I'm Mirna, CEO and co-founder of Run With It Synthetics, and I'm here today with Melissa. Our company basically does SimCity except for real. So we develop synthetic models of cities or regions. We have ways of developing a hyper-localized living population in those areas that's demographically and psychographically accurate from public sources of data, so not from surveillance data. And then we enable some of the big problems to be kind of played out and solutioned, problems to do with energy grids and infrastructure, electric vehicles, photovoltaic storage, disaster response, health. We've done some of the recent projects we've done is a big mobility environment in Kuala Lumpur, where we're looking at accessibility and inclusivity policies and programs and their impact on increasing the demographics on their public transportation. So a whole variety of projects. We're deep into the troubles of the energy grid at the moment, everything from creating black sky kind of conditions so that people can come to understand the human and economic impacts, in the days, hours, to really kind of trying to reimagine energy grids and resilience with the arrival of electric vehicles, which are terrifying people who supply grids and grid assets and power. So that's our universe is if you have a large, very complex problem and you want to what if like crazy in those environments, and then be able to get data from that future and use it to compare your your options in investment, in infrastructure or policies, programs, assets. That's the world that we play in.
Very good. And where are you based, Mirna?
In the very, very cold Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. I heard somebody else talking about Alberta. And
There's
I think,
another
yeah,
one over
yeah. We're expecting to go down to something like minus 42 or something tonight because we're east of the city, so we're even colder. Yeah, it's awful.
Okay. All
Just
right.
awful. Help.
Okay. All right. Jody.
There, I'm off mute. Wonderful. Hi, everyone. I'm also extremely happy to be here. My name is Jody Hooten, and I'm the founder and CEO of Helgaware. I come from a background as an engineer in the field, mechanical engineer, working in a fairly active outdoor industry where I had to wear PPE, so that's personal protective equipment. And as a mechanical engineer, it really bothered me that none of my PPE was designed for my body. None of it fit. And specifically my safety coveralls that were my first line of defense against sliding down a big stockpile of dirt and getting protected from all of the elements here in coastal Vancouver. That's where I'm. Right, so I ended up developing coveralls that I could take a quick pee in, for one, without removing all of my clothes, which is really important. And two, that fit me. And fast forward to today, I've taken my prototypes and developed them on the shipyards of BC with women who are welders, electricians, laborers, who are mostly concerned with fit. Currently, they wear unisex or male-bodied gear under the false assumption that women's body proportions can be accurately represented using a scaled-down version of the male, which we've known not to be true for many, many years. However, we've not acted on it in these male-dominated trades industries. So that's where I've found my niche and my passion to bring these products to women working these dangerous jobs.
Wonderful. That's great. And Taiwan is famous for their textile industry, so I think hopefully we can find some help for you.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Jody. Rashmi.
Hi everyone. Can you guys hear me? Hello. Thank you once again. It's a pleasure being here. My name is Rashmi Bhambani, and I'm the COO and co-founder at Samati. I'm here from Waterloo, Ontario, and so what do we do? So a little bit different from a few folks here, but I'm sure all of you have had an experience of calling or emailing a customer support at some point, the 1-800 number, whenever you run into issues with a product. And every time you call, message them, you always see a line saying, hey, this message has been recorded for quality purposes. But you'll be surprised to know how many times that someone actually goes through your message or call. Only 1 to 2% of those calls actually get analyzed or go through in a quality control format to say, okay, what happened on the call? Did the agent solve the problem or not? We are using AI to analyze all of those conversations to change the industry from only 1 to 2% to 100% of conversations being analyzed across all channels. We started 2 years ago in Canada. We have some really good North American customers. And since last year, we have expanded outside, especially focused in Asia and Europe. We have some amazing customers in India, and now we are looking at Taiwan as well. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much, Rashmi. Karin?
I realized I was on mute. The thing that everyone always does. Hi, everyone. I'm Karin Chambersani. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Diva International. Our flagship product is the Diva Cup, in which my mother and I created basically 20 years ago now. In 2001, we began our journey redesigning a very old concept from the 1930s, and have worked actually very closely alongside Madeline and Suzanne in their journey and really promoting a better, more sustainable option for menstrual care. I think what I'm really proud of is that we really created a category for menstrual cups in the mass market. which in a male-dominated industry that really hadn't seen any change in so many decades and decades, that this was really revolutionary. It was very difficult. It took us many, many years. And now we're proud to say we're available in 45 countries around the world and in 65,000 stores. So we've made definitely a big impact on the industry. We're really, really passionate about menstrual equity and period poverty and all the issues surrounding menstruation that women and people who menstruate face. And we're very excited to continue this journey and be accepted into this amazing program.
Wonderful. And where did you say you were based, Karin?
Right. We're actually also in Waterloo, Kitchener-Waterloo, Ontario. So Rashmi, we'll have to meet when we can, when we're not on lockdown. But yes, we're near Toronto, Ontario.
All righty. Thank you, Karin. B.
Hi everyone. I am I'm super excited to be here, by the way, because Taiwan is one of my most. I love Taiwan. Normally, before the travel restrictions, I went there once, twice a year, at least, because we're manufacturing there. We're manufacturing this thing, and I'm pulling up a very winterized picture of the Alinker, of a grandma doing ice hockey on the Alinker. The grandma can't walk, by the way. That's exactly why it was designed. Alinkers are designed for how we want to live and not as a technical solution for a body with a problem. We're not a body with a problem. So I'm really looking forward to engaging in this special mission in Taiwan. Taiwan has very specific manufacturing problems at the moment in the bike industry that are affecting my company. We're on the good side of all of it because I've got more like a luxury problem. But I'm really interested to learning more about the situation on the ground and how we can work together to to get things moving differently than that they move right now. Just to give you a little bit perspective, all the big bike manufacturers on electrical bikes just buy out all the production slots. Taiwan is busy, the demand for the bicycles is up, and all the small bike manufacturers can just go home. Come back in 2023 is the story. So I'd really like to bring up that very specific Taiwan issue, as Taiwan is the bicycle manufacturing country in the world, and the best, obviously. Thank you. I'm looking forward.
Can you tell them where you're based, B?
Sorry, yes, I am based on the unceded territories of Toronto in Canada.
Okay, very good. Maybe you just want to make a mention of who your ambassador is for your A-Linker.
Oh, we've got a few at the moment, but yeah, one of them is Selma Blair, Hollywood star. We also have Carlo Calgagni right now, who's a gold medalist, Paralympian, and a lot more.
Very good. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you,
much.
Christine.
Okay. Mary Lobson.
Hi, everyone. My name's Mary. I am the founder of it's called Reese. It's Reese Technology Group is the company, and Reese Community is how we operate, or Reese Campus. Reese is a simple, secure online platform for reporting sexual violence. And we launched just in September of this year at 10 post-secondary institutions in Manitoba. Within the next month or so, we will have the entire province making online reporting available through the campus community. So we're excited about that. And we'll be announcing a school or a college next week in British Columbia. And we hope to have one starting in March in Ontario. So we're very excited. I'm in Winnipeg. I don't know if I said that I was in Winnipeg, Treaty 1 territory. It's very cold here. And I have to say, when I saw this opportunity, we went online and we looked to see what we could find in the news and in the media about sexual violence on campus in Taiwan. And much like everywhere else on the globe, there was lots of articles, but also an interest and a commitment on the part of the government. The minister speaking specifically, and the Deputy Minister speaking specifically from higher education about the need for increased reporting mechanisms on campus. And so we applied, and we're really honored to be here and look forward to connecting. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Mary.
Thanks.
Audrey.
So hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. And I'm president and CEO of a company called Questor Technology. We're a clean technology company that is actually focused on emissions. And we supply equipment to make sure any waste gas stream doesn't pollute the atmosphere. And these days, everyone's talking about methane, 86 times worse than CO2. And so we've got a very strong solution that makes sure no methane is emitted into the atmosphere. But in addition, our other technology is around energy efficiency, so generating power from waste heat. So every industrial process, steel plants, etc., have a lot of low-grade waste heat that no one takes advantage of. And so we take that and turn it into power. And once again, in that arena, we believe that dealing with methane, because it's so bad from a global warming perspective and energy efficiency, allows us to meet our climate change goals, but no one's talking about it. We have worked in Asia, so we've worked in China and Indonesia and Thailand. We're growing, and we're looking for some opportunities around supply chain, but also a presence in that area. So very interested to be on the mission, on the lookout for both of those. I'm based in Calgary, and yes, it's very cold here too. But just a pleasure to, I think half the value of these sessions is the chance to meet all these amazing women entrepreneurs in Canada. So I'm looking forward to getting to know everyone. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Audrey. Sarwan.
Hi, my name is Sarwan Logan, and I am the CEO and co-founder of Northwater. And like Audrey, I too am based in Calgary, and it's extremely cold here as well. And so Northwater is Canada's premium glacial water. We started our company March of 2020, so about the same time when COVID hit us all. So it was fun and exciting, all happening at the same time. No one knows what was coming our way, and nothing that we had planned for went down the way we thought it was going to. A little bit about our company. Our water is naturally high in alkaline and sourced from the Canadian Rockies, right here in Alberta, and bottled in Alberta as well. What makes our water different is that we're naturally rich in minerals as well, so very high mineral content. And we come in at 100% aluminum bottles, so packaging is a huge component of our bottle because it's plastic free, and that just allows for less to go into landfills and oceans. How little plastic actually does get recycled. For us right now, we're across Canada from BC all the way to Quebec, so we're in about 6 provinces. We're still missing some. We're looking into expanding out into export markets, overseas markets this year, and start exporting. Grateful for the opportunity and looking forward to hearing more from all of you and working with you in the next couple of weeks.
Thank you, Sarwan. Melissa.
Hello, everyone. My name is Melissa Fierro. I'm a Business Development Manager for Run With It Synthetics. We're very excited to learn more about Taiwan's market and making some good connections. And I'm pleased to meet you all tonight.
Very good. Thank you very much, Melissa. Reina.
Hi, my name is Reena Tabata, CEO of Sharesmart. Sharesmart is based in Calgary, Alberta, and we specialize in health communication solutions, namely secure video and messaging to support virtual care and health team collaboration. We are different from our competitors as we've humanized that virtual care journey. We ensure accessibility on the part of patients so that the healthcare journey feels very familiar to an in-person journey, particularly important for certain demographics that might have accessibility issues when it comes to technology. We are in 70 countries around the world. We became Apple's first Canadian health software development partner back in 2017. And we are also the company that helped develop Canada's standards around smart device use within the healthcare setting. And so the Canadian legislation and standards that is the gold standards for doctors and nurses is one that we developed jointly with the Canadian Medical Association. So we are very excited to have this opportunity to work with Taiwanese partners to realize a future in digitized healthcare delivery on a go-forward basis. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dana. So, Nuzhat. Oh, you're on mute. Oh, I think you don't have many bars beside your name, so.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can. Go ahead.
Okay, this is Nusrat Tamzaman from Sinoveda Canada, Inc. We are in Edmonton, Alberta, very cold, as I already mentioned, and some of you are from here as well. And this is a pharmaceutical company. I'm one of the co-founders. I'm a pharmaceutical scientist, and our company is based on a patented technology, and we call it PPT in short, pharmaceutical platform technology. And this technology allows us to identify the bioactives that are responsible for the biological activity in any botanical or any medicinal plant. So with this technology, we have developed a series of pharmaceutical drugs that are going into the prescription category, as well as 14 natural health products that are all approved in Canada. And some of them are being sold in Canada and in some Asian countries. So that's why I'm very interested to go into this opportunity and see, because Taiwan is also quite big on the TCM, traditional Chinese medicine research. So we would like to see if they would be interested in using our technology. And as we speak, we are just licensing one of our drug candidates, also in the botanical category, to one of a Chinese company. And they are going to use our technology to develop other Chinese medicine for the Chinese market, because China is also very big on TCM. So basically, we are pharmaceutical scientists, and we are bringing in our scientific pharmaceutical know-how to develop some of these natural medicine in the scientific rigor that will meet the US FDA botanical prescription standards to make it into prescription drugs. At the same time, are very highly standardized and pharmaceutical grade natural health products. So here I am, and looking forward to business with the Taiwanese and meet you all at the same time. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nuzhat. Nikita, now we're going to go the other end of the country here. We have a strong contingent from the prairies this time. My goodness. Nikita.
Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Very nice to see you all. We are just in a very odd time. It's 10 o'clock here. And we had a snow day today. I am CEO and co-founder of Nucleic Biologics. We are a startup company. It's a biotech startup company. I did my PhD in biochemistry, and with my co-founder, we founded this company which is based on microbiome. So it is mainly about to develop therapeutics based on microbiome. But currently, to generate revenue, we are focusing on the manufacturing of gut check kits, which will help people to know what is in their guts in terms of kind of bacteria, and will give them the personalized diet recommendations and probiotics. And even the personalized probiotics we are going to manufacture and provide it to them. So we didn't launch our product yet. We are yet to launch our product in Canada. We are, as I just said, we are a startup company. But then we wanted to learn how to see the opportunities out there. And I think this is a best opportunity to see how we can collaborate. And I think it starts with Taiwan, I guess. So yeah, that's where we are.
Very
Thank
good.
you.
And Nikita hails from Newfoundland, so she's at the other
Yes,
spectrum.
that's right. Yes,
Now,
completely.
we had Anna on, and I think we lost her again. Is Anna back in? No? We keep
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Go ahead,
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. I'm on the mobile connection with you, and greetings from beautiful Port Moody, British Columbia. It's not cold here today. You can see our blueberry fields are starting to grow. I operate a company which is called East to West Marketing, and I provide research around the world for product manufacturers and for companies who sell their products around the world. The idea is to connect East and West, your expectations and your goals in different countries of the world. I started this business 15 years ago when I immigrated to Canada from Ukraine. I actually immigrated 3 times and settled in British Columbia. And I belong to different professional associations around the world, providing high quality interviews with people who buy your products. So if you're a manufacturer and wanting to enter market in Taiwan, you need to know what consumers think about your product. So I come with my qualitative research and ask consumers about label of your product, about usability, about how to.
Oh, we've lost you. We can't hear you. We can't hear you, Anna.
Sorry, this way you learn more about what consumers think about your product, and you can increase your sales and your market share in your target country. 70% of my business is with the biotech, pharma, and healthcare industry. So I'm open to cooperation. And if you're heading to Taiwan or Eastern Europe, I'm here to make this connection possible. And my contacts are in the database. Thank you.
Thank you, Anna. And last but not least, Elizabeth. I think Elizabeth, I've hit everybody, right? I think Elizabeth, but best for the last, right? You're on mute.
There we go. I had to unmute twice. Sorry about that. Thanks, Christine. Happy to be here with all you women tonight. It's really nice to meet you all and a big delegation from Western Canada. Actually, that's very impressive, and happy to not be there at -40. I'm in Montreal, and all things compared. So my name is Elizabeth Douville. I'm co-founder and managing partner of a venture capital fund. I think I'm the oddball in this team here, this delegation to Taiwan. So, and I'm here with my colleague Alexia De Quinzio, who's one of our newer recruits, who's waving. I started up a venture capital fund back in 2011, which is a bit of a unique venture capital fund that's all for the love of innovation, hence the name Amorchem, Amor, being Amor, love. And so what we love to do is to take that early stage innovation that lies within research universities and research centers, at least here in the province of Quebec. We'd like to do this pan-Canadian. And we're sourcing what will be, we hope, transformational therapeutic drugs of tomorrow, and to start up next generation biotech companies around them. And we devised a model to be able to do that in a very cash efficient way that is leveraging all non-dilutive types of resources like shreds that we all like, and also grants that are available. So since 2011, we invest in over 30 different university research programs here in the province of Quebec, and actually one out of Toronto and one out of Waterloo. There's some Waterloo folks here tonight. We started up 10 biotechs and transacted 3 different deals with big pharma companies around some of these innovations. So what we're looking to do in Taiwan is showcase the amazing innovation that goes on here in this province, and hopefully one day across Canada as we raise more capital. And we're looking for partners in Taiwan that may be interested, venture capital firms, pharmas, or biotech, in helping us finance our new sprouting and emerging biotech companies. So that's us in a nutshell.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. So you are our only Quebec representative. So you and Nikita from the East Coast. I'm really amazed at the representation from the prairies this round. But anyway, that's great. So with no further ado, I'd like to introduce to you Dwayne Robson from the Canadian Trade Office in Taipei. He's the director, and it gives me great pleasure to introduce you, Dwayne. You're in the picture. You're very small, so I don't know if the ladies
can make it bigger.
Okay, we want to see you. So over to you, Dwayne. Thank you very much for all of you for taking time tonight to brief us this evening.
Great. So thank you very much. We're really excited to see the whole group come. We've been wanting you to come earlier than now. As soon as Christine and Stuart asked us about this mission a year ago, we said, please come right away. But she said we had to wait till after Korea and Japan. So thank you for coming at this point. We're excited here. Right at the beginning, I'd like to introduce you to a lot of the team, because it's a great trade team that we have here in Taiwan. It's almost like a women-run trade team, because there are 18 staff here and only 2 men. And so these are the people that'll be working with you over the course of the mission, and everyone's going to be helping to be assigned different groups so we can give some more personalized service for the people that are coming in. So I'm the director of the group here, but I'd like to introduce Julia first, who's one of the deputy directors. Julia?
Hi, my name is Julia Buss. I'm one of the deputy directors here. I've been here for 3.5 years. I've had the pleasure to work with a couple of the companies in the mission, and I met Madeline Shaw when she was here in Taipei, and she visited our office, so it's great to see you, Madeline. My team covers agriculture, construction, aerospace, and forestry, and you'll meet some of my team members as we go around the room. Just for some personal information, I was born in Regina, and I grew up in Vancouver, so I think some of the delegates, I may have something in common with them.
Oh, yes, I should say I was born in Winnipeg and grew up in Vancouver too, so more prairie connections.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll start on this side so we can give Rupert control of the camera. Jessie?
Hi, my name is Jessie. I'm a trail assistant for Rupert's team, cover ICT, education, innovation, and CTA.
Hi, this is Claire. I'm Dwayne's assistant. I'm supporting overall trade functions and also overlook the budgets here.
Important person.
Yes.
Hi, everyone. Jeannie Lin. I'm Trade Commissioner covering aerospace, forestry, construction. I was born in Taipei, studied in Vancouver, graduated from SFU. Nice meeting you.
Great.
Hi, everyone. This is Sylvia. I'm on Rupert's team as well. I'm covering education and science and technology and innovation. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Angela, and I'm a trade assistant working with Vanessa, Jeannie, and Rupert.
Hi, I'm Vanessa, Trade Commissioner responsible for life science, clean tech, and environment under Genesis supervision. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Sonia Lee. I'm the Trade Commissioner looking after the ICT sector. I'm in the Rupert's team.
Hi, my name is Tina Ling. I'm responsible for agri-food and agriculture, and I'm working with another colleague, Karen, here in the team.
And my name is Karin Bang. I'm in charge of agri-food market access and market development. And on the market development side, my focus is more on the commodity files.
And finally, my name is Rupert. So I'm one of the other deputy directors. I'm from East Coast, Toronto, Ontario. Went to Western. So our team, just repeat, covers ICT, financial services, S&T, education, and runs our Canadian Technology Accelerator program.
I'll just say We're in the middle of Chinese New Year here, so we have about 5 or 6 officers that are not in the office. School is out at the moment, so lots of people are taking the time they can for different things. And I hate to say it was nice and warm this week. It was 27 degrees and the flowers are blooming. So people have sweaters on today because it dropped to 19.
Rub it in, Dwayne.
Some people even break out their Canada Goose because it's 19. So please, we'll do a quick presentation for you. What I'd like to say is that please cut us off at any time if you have a question. Different people will be doing different parts of the presentation, so we'll share it on the screen. And please let us know if you'd like to stop. As Christine said, this is going to be interactive. So and we'd like to hear your questions and get an idea of what you're looking for from our team here in Taiwan. Right? So in terms of the market overview, we'll go very quickly.
Can everyone see our slide?
Yes, we can. And just a note for our
We just lost you, Christine. Can you guys still hear us?
Yes, I did it to myself. I'm sorry. I just knocked myself out.
Okay, great. So then very quickly about this market, we'll let you know that we're the Canadian Trade Office in Taipei. So we are a team of about 18 in the trade section and about 40 overall. If we just move forward, Rupert, she's right. Just tell you very quickly, if we move forward, this is what we'll cover over the course of the 30 minutes to give you some idea of what we're doing here in the office. In terms of our One China policy, we should probably get that out of the way right away. Canada does not have diplomatic relations with Taiwan. So here in the office, we're a trade office, but we function like an embassy. Essentially, we do everything an embassy does. We have a consular section, a political section. People don't need a visa to come back and forth between Taiwan and Canada, so our immigration section is closed. We do have a representative from the Alberta office here as well, inside Leanne. She's down in Kaohsiung today, so she's not in the office. We are very busy. The office has been very busy in terms of what we're doing, but it's just to make a note that oftentimes we're not represented with the official Canadian symbols. That's why you would have seen the Canadian Trade Office symbol instead, because of our One China policy, which means that we take note that both China and Taiwan claim control over Taiwan. We neither disagree nor agree with the situation. We work in an unofficial capacity, but function just the same as any normal embassy. Next page. As you can see, when we talk about embassy, consulates, and trade offices at the top of this, we're a trade office. So
Dwayne, sorry to interrupt, but the slides are not showing on the screen.
Oh.
Or is it just me? Can everybody see the slides? No,
I can't. No.
A lot of us can't.
You might have to stop the share and then try again.
Yeah, let's try again. Sorry about that. Are you guys able to see it now?
Yep. Yes.
Okay. We'll go through really quickly with the TCS because you had an opportunity to talk to Sarah Wilshaw yesterday, and she's our expert. She's the leader for the TCS service. We'll just say that in addition to with the APF mission, you also have free access to all of us in the office to ask for the different services that we provide. Many of you have already worked with the office here, and we're excited to continue to work with you again. So please move forward. I'd like to tell you a little bit about the COVID-19 situation here because you've seen us in the office all sort of sitting together, not with masks on. While the situation around the world is quite dramatic right now, and in Canada, we feel for you going through lockdown and different situations that you're at. Here in Taiwan, the Taiwanese government's did a pretty good job. Over the course of the last year and a bit, we've only had 928 cases in Taiwan, only 9 deaths. Most of the cases have been isolated right away, have come in from the outside. We've had a few local outbreaks, but they're numbered in the 10s or 20s in terms of the outbreaks. Currently, there's considered to not be any indigenous cases on the island. And so while we have restrictions for wearing masks on public transportation, in large groups, oftentimes in schools, but not always, if you can keep a social distance, we're not wearing masks, and within bubbles, people aren't wearing masks either. So we are as much as we can. So but it's not required, is what we're saying. We feel a bit isolated here because, frankly, there have been very few cases in Taiwan. So, but the situation is that we're locked down. It's very difficult to get on and off the island without special sort of rationale, and everyone goes through a 3-week quarantine when they arrive on the island. 2 weeks of isolation in quarantine, and then 1 week of health management where you're supposed to stay in isolation as much as possible. Related to COVID-19, the office here has done a lot of work on working with donations to Canada, working with some of the professionals here that make PPE materials, helping to export 10 mask machines to Medicon. Medicon also has its own, on the bottom right corner, you'll see mask making production as well as sterilization equipment here in Taiwan. We've worked with them. We've, supporting over 139 different research projects, looking at work on vaccines now as well. Fantastic work in the group. Our office closed down and went to a business continuity plan for a month during the original outbreak in China, so back in March and April. But overall, things have worked very well here. We continue to be affected, and our emergency team has stood up, which is why the mission is virtual, but it will be hybrid here in Japan because the local groups are going to come in together into an auditorium to see your pitches on the second day, to see the discussions on the second day, and some small groups on the first day. In terms of politics, it's important as well because we're in a transition phase. Originally in 2012, the island was very much on the Kuomintang, or the KMT is what they're called. That's the blue group. The blue group is more aligned with mainland China, economically and historically, and is a more conservative group. Since 2016, Tsai Ing-wen won the presidency here in Taiwan, and that's the green group. They started to take over a lot of the politics here. It's liberalized things. It's moving away from the mainland a bit in terms of diversification and global supply chains, and changed their industrial policy, which is important to know. If you look at 2020, this is the last election. She won handily, the group in 2020. They're in the midst of their 4-year term here, and you can see along the west side of the island, it's mainly green, which is the DPP. On the right side of the island, it's it's less populated and more local and more conservative politics. So you can see a bit of that. But currently, one of the reasons it went so strongly green or towards the DPP in 2020 was the influence of what happened in Hong Kong, and the idea that a one China, two systems probably wasn't going to be the future or work for Taiwan, and there was quite a bit of a protest vote against it. So moving on, industrial policy here has changed a bit as well. Originally, they had what was called a 5+2 industrial transformation plan, and some of you have alluded to these in terms of what they're doing in the future. They've moved away from this a bit because of the China-US trade friction and because of the focus on reshoring and diversifying. They still have these as their key sectors that they wish to develop. So we're looking at green energy, their Asian Silicon Valley, biomedical, smart machinery, and defense. Also looking at the circular economy and And in terms of green energy here, you'll hear a bit later from some others about how much they're moving towards renewables. But on the next page, you'll see they are focusing on a few areas, including from A-Link, you asked about electric bicycles. Yes, it's in the last year, it has become one of the 5 areas where they'd like to work their supply chains to become more local, to diversify away from China, to put some money and investment into it and try to diversify it. Laptops, semiconductor servers, air purifiers, electric bicycles are where they're looking to drive investment internationally, but also looking to drive a deeper supply chain system within Taiwan and move a bit away from China. So that change in supply chains has meant that there's been a lot more demand and pushing out some of the players at the moment, but they're looking to fulfill the supply. So we think it's a short-term hiccup. Semiconductors is in the news dramatically right now because Taiwan is working with both Japan and the United States to try to make sure that they have a trusted network. So you can see here, this is a slide that came from the Ministry of Economic Affairs talking about where they want to push the market into the future here. As well, in industrial policy, they're looking to move towards what they consider a developed nation status. Last year, they announced to the WTO that they would self-identify as a developed nation. So they're moving away from pushing for investment, employment, and equitable distribution and working in supply chains where they're in the middle, to having a little bit more of a diverse, innovative-driven economy and looking at where their next steps will be. So moving on from this, I'm going to let Rupert talk quickly about the...
Sure. I'll provide just a quick overview of sort of our current trade stats with between Canada and Taiwan. They are our 15th largest trading partner. It was about $8 billion in bilateral trade. Of course, in 2020, the numbers, we just got the numbers for 2020. It went down a bit, although it was sort of expected given COVID. The number that's going to be interesting here is the sort of people-people connections. We estimate there's about 60,000 Canadian passport holders in Taiwan. Of course, a majority, overwhelming, being dual citizens, Taiwanese Canadians. And then in Canada, we estimate there's about 260,000 Taiwanese Canadians in Canada right now. So in terms of, when travel was happening, there was a lot of back and forth travel and visitors. We obviously at the time when Julie and I arrived, Air Canada actually had opened the direct routing from both Vancouver and Toronto. Unfortunately, as of now, due to COVID, that flight has been suspended. But previously, again, there was a lot of travel back and forth. There are an important source of students for us, 15th, in fact, and then actually for Taiwan, Canada's the 4th highly sought after destination of study. And then we have over 25 arrangements or MOUs between Canada and Taiwan, and that covers a whole spectrum of things from transportation safety. We have a fintech MOU that was signed recently. We also have a patent prosecution highway, so protecting patents and fast-tracking patent registration in both our countries. Next, I will talk briefly about the commercial priorities in Taiwan. So these are sort of so we have a staff of 18, but we've identified a few priorities based on what we feel are the strengths in Canada and how it aligns with the Taiwanese priorities that Dwayne had mentioned about.
Just to say this is the year.
This is the year of the Canada. So for those that may be aware, so 2020 and 2021, we on a very high level we agree with Taiwan that it would be the year of the Canada-Taiwan Year of Innovators. So what I mean is we were just trying to highlight in this year possible innovation events or joint collaborations in different areas of innovation. So one of it is, your mission itself, we are definitely using it to amplify and profile as one of the main activities in our joint year of innovation and, profiling Canadian innovations, innovative companies like yourself. We have strong linkages with Taiwan on S&T. In fact, the NRC and MOST, the Ministry of Science and Technology, is in the current 24th year of MOU. Taiwan sees Canada as probably its third most important S&T partner. Canada sees Taiwan as probably top 5. And there are, again, lots of mechanisms to facilitate innovation exchanges and R&D collaborations. One thing I'd like to touch on, a program that was launched in 2 years ago in 2018 is our Canadian Technology Accelerator program. So that this program that my team oversees, it is actually our largest sort of commercial investment by the Canadian government to date in Taiwan with programs. Essentially, we try to bring innovative Canadian SMEs and fast track their entry into the Taiwanese market. There are some personalized and very high-touch services that go beyond our traditional trade commerce service. We are actually currently in the middle of recruiting for our next cohort, but usually we run 2 cohorts a year, one for June and one for December. Again, this program might be of interest to some of you post your mission here.
Sorry, can you tell them the lead?
Sorry.
The lead of the CTA.
Oh, yes. The lead of our CTA is Judy Chen. She, unfortunately, is currently on Chinese New Year leave. But if you're interested in connecting with her, please do let us know, and we'll for sure connect you directly with her for that program. So next, I would like to invite our ICT officer, Sonia Lee, to speak a bit about the ICT sector.
Thank you, Rupert. So Taiwan is a technology powerhouse, which has a lot of tier 1 ICT companies who are making those smart devices you have been using daily. So for this slide, we list out some of the brands, which you may have seen but may not notice they are actually Taiwanese companies, such as Acer and Asus for the notebook PC, HTC for the smartphone or for the VR devices, and the Zyxel D-Link or Gemtech for the gateway or router you have at home, or the Gigabyte for the motherboard if you have a kid who really is a gamer, want to those high performance motherboard. The next slide, we look into the components and the supply chain. Actually, is even powerful. So from the left-hand side to the right-hand side, Taiwanese companies have dominant role from the semiconductor IC fabrication to components to IC design, display, or to a final ODM. So from this one, on this slide, actually 2 of them are the world's largest companies. The first one is on the upper left-hand side, TSMC, stands for Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Companies. They are the world's largest semiconductor foundries. And on the left-hand upper side, you will see Foxconn. Foxconn is not only the world's largest contract manufacturer, who is also Apple's largest ODM. So we have, let's look at 2 examples. So the first one is an iPhone. Basically, from the lens module to the flexible printed circuit to the PCB printed circuit board, or including the chip, they are all supplied by Taiwanese companies and being final assembled by the company called Foxconn. And of course, let's look at Tesla. Actually, nearly 75% of the Tesla suppliers are from Taiwan. But on this slide, you will see those 29 companies. They are supplying the major 5 car systems into Tesla, including car electronics, motors, battery system, charging system, and the car body. And the news actually from last month, Tesla has been coming to Taiwan and they invited like Pectron, Quanta, and AUO to open the manufacturing plant in the US to supply those core components. So if we are looking at the opportunities, we will say the telecom, mainly thanks to the 5G and IoT and the connected car are where those Taiwanese hardware companies are looking for software partners to help them enhance their value from the supply chain to the value chain. One interesting example related to EV, the electrical vehicle, is a Foxconn. Last October, they launched this MIH, stands for Made in Hong Hai. This is an open platform. They are open to invite software developers worldwide to join this platform to working together to provide this EV manufacturing for the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Sonia.
So since I arrived here in the market 3.5 years ago, renewable energy has been an area of really strong interest and also a success for Canadian companies. Just to highlight one of the big projects here, Canada's Northland Power is developing a large offshore wind project, over 1 gigawatt in size, in Taiwan's Changhua County. And they're positioning themselves to be the second largest supplier of wind power here in Taiwan. Also, last month, we were very pleased to see that La Caisse de dépôt et placement du Québec, or CDPQ, invested over $3.5 billion in Taiwan's offshore wind sector, specifically in an Ørsted project. So that's been very positive. Overall, Taiwan has fairly limited natural resources and depends very heavily on foreign energy supplies, with over 98% of energy being imported. The majority of Taiwan's electricity capacity is from fossil fuels, such as gas and coal and oil. And energy security has become a very important topic here in Taiwan. The Taiwanese government is promoting renewable energy development, carbon emission reduction, and energy saving, and is trying to diversify the energy supply and reduce dependence on foreign sources of energy. Taiwan's clean energy goals, go back one slide, under the 2009 Renewable Energy Act, and they continue to update them, have included to make Taiwan nuclear free. Initially that was by 2025, but it's now been postponed to 2030 based on the results of a referendum, as well as reducing nationwide CO2 emissions to 2000 levels, and reducing and generating 20% of total power needs from renewable energy. So these are quite ambitious and quite interesting, and leading to a number of opportunities in the clean tech sector. And you can go to the next slide now. And so some of the opportunities that we're seeing in the clean tech sector, and I'm not going to go into these in a lot of detail, but if you have any questions, Vanessa Chen, who's here, can answer questions later on, but include green energy infrastructure, solar, wind, biofuel, natural gas, and areas such as hydrogen and fuel cell applications, energy storage, smart grid, CCUS, and LED lighting. Another sector that is a priority for our office, and we are seeing a lot of cooperation between Canadian and Taiwanese companies, is the aerospace sector. Jeannie Lin is the lead TC trade commissioner for this sector, but I also work with her on this. Taiwan has world-class manufacturing capabilities in the aerospace sector, and we work very closely with partners like the Aerospace Industrial Corporation and AirAsia Company Limited, which is actually different than the airline. There's also 3 major airlines here: EVA Airlines, China Airlines, and Starlux, which is a new airline. So we're seeing a lot of opportunities in areas such as MRO, aero engines, avionics, and some other areas listed there, but also training and cooperation with airlines. Another sector that my team works on, and it's very dear to my heart, is agri-food and fisheries. Taiwan has a very low food self-sufficiency rate, around 30%, so they're a major food importing country. In 2020, Taiwan had imported more than $14 billion of agri-food and seafood products. This was a small decrease from 2019, but given COVID-19, it was only a decrease of 2.4%, and the food and beverage industry hasn't really taken much of a hit here, so we're seeing very promising growth in this industry. The top imports for Taiwanese importers include alcohol products, soybean, corn, beef, tobacco products, and wheat. Canada's exports to Taiwan have been increasing fairly stably in the past 5 years. And they increased, the last slide said 47%, but it was actually, that was older figures, but it was 37%, so it's pretty impressive. With our top exports being, as you can see here, pork, non-GMO soybeans, beef, pet food, potato products, and canola oil.
And supplements.
Oh, and supplements, of course.
For someone on the team.
Yeah, one of the things I would also note is Canada and Taiwan signed an organic equivalency agreement in May 2020. So this is a really good opportunity for Canadian companies as well. So some trends we're seeing that we think are interesting to watch include some changing demographics with an increase in career women and double income families, declining birth rates in an aging society, and an increasingly pet-focused community. Because of this, we're seeing some opportunities for Canadian companies offering a number of health-conscious products like organic and natural, functional foods and healthy products of various sorts, innovative ingredients and technology featuring functional components in anti-aging, anti-cancer, and immunity-boosting properties, as well as just sort of convenient snacks, quick products, and then the more traditional items like meat, seafood, non-GMO soybeans, etc. Just in case anyone is very interested, there's a couple upcoming events that I would just like to quickly mention to you. On March 10th, we'll be having a functional food and natural health product virtual conference. So if you're interested in any way, please contact me and I can get you more information about that. And also in June, we'll be having a Canada Pavilion at Food Taipei, which is a very big food show here. But I'll let the next person go on to the next slide. Education. Okay. I was reminded that I'm supposed to speak about education as well. Education is actually Rupert and Sylvia's sector, but as you could probably guess, it's a really important pillar for the Canada-Taiwan relation. It really helps us with our people-to-people linkages. And as Rupert earlier mentioned, Taiwan is a really important source of international students for Canada, representing, as some of the sites say 14th and some of them say 15th, largest source of international students. This is really important to our economy, with Taiwanese students contributing over $120 million annually to our economy.
Sorry, I'll just jump in. One thing I'll say is that a focus for us is also ed tech. Over the last year, educational technology firms have done very well here, and there's been a lot of interest, especially on campuses and with high schools. So it's something we've expanded our reach for the future.
And just to add to that, we expect more Taiwanese students will turn to Canada in the near future as the political climate in some other places is less favorable.
Thank you, Julia. Next, we'll invite Vanessa, who is our Life Sciences and Clean Tech Officer, to provide some background.
Maybe some of you has already aware, in Taiwan, actually, biotechnology have a different definition comparing to Canada life science. In Taiwan, actually, we include the nutraceuticals, health, and functional food under biotechnology. So from the slide you will see right now, we try to make it more very life science focused. So in Taiwan, we call it the biomedical industry. So under the category, it covers healthcare, medical device, pharmaceutical, applied biotech, well, which is equal to life science, definitions in Canada. And from the 2018, the revenue here increasing, which means a lot of company has already actually increased from the Taiwan market in the applied biotechnology and the pharmaceutical, these two major areas. And right now in Taiwan's stock exchange, there are 183 public listed biotech company, which is the largest size in Asia Pacific stock exchange. So with a lot of government support, and you see a lot of ICT company has already invested, have a quite a big, fund support to cook this industry. And the bio clusters in Taiwan have a major 5 areas. And here we identify by the category pharmaceutical, medical device, applied biotech, which is much easier for you to take a look which part is much more stronger. For Taiwan, actually, Hsinchu Biomedical Science Park is one of the, I think, the historical one, start from here. And gradually they grow up from to the north part, which is the National Biotech Research Park, and also the Southern Taiwan Science Park. But right now, the most popular is Pingdong, connect to what Julia just mentioned, because new agri technology is one of the key subsectors right now. Taiwan government is trying to promoting. And by these 5 major bio clusters, there are a lot of synergies. Around these 5 major areas, we have a lot of hospitals, teaching hospitals, clinics, research institutes. They all put their resource and efforts with the R&D collaboration and the partnership of venture capital collaboration with the science parks, biotech science parks. So you can see basically in Hsinchu areas, we have very strong medical device focus as well, because Hsinchu also have very strong ICT clusters over there. So here you will see more than 115 universities and research institutes involved. This supports not only for the government, but also under the Ministry of Science and Technology. And also the Ministry of Education, they put the separate fundings to encourage industrial and academic collaboration on the biotech R&D development. So here is the strength for Taiwan's clinical trials. For you have a quick overview. From this separate category, you can see actually in previous more than 15 years, our office here work closely with the local key players, and majorly for 3 key areas. One is cancer, the other one is geriatric, and also pediatric. And those sectors actually you can see involve a lot on the our long-term partnership with local key players. For example, like dementia, I think our office actually is the first trade office to bring this health, mental health collaboration with Taiwan's Mackay hospitals for the studies and research and also exchange. And last year, actually, Taiwan has the lowest birth rate in Asia Pacific, so which also make the government pay more attention on the aging issues. Taiwan also have very well established precision medicine value chain, and this actually is benefited by Taiwan's strong ICT sectors. So you can see from companies, R&D and resources, combine all the efforts among the government, research institute, and also companies. Taiwan has a very well and solid national health insurance system, which covered over 99% populations in Taiwan. So with this kind of data collection, actually it's quite help a lot to build a very solid database system for the precision medicine and also the pathology and the cancer analysis. With the above elements and the information we provided, we can see Taiwan has a well-integrated ecosystem, and they are quite looking for the next generation medical product development. Taiwan government aim to become the hub centers of the health development and the best partners for Asia Pacific. So they put a lot of focus on the CRO and CDMO, as well as academia industrial collaboration. And they try to have several excellence clusters, partner with like Japan, Singapore, and those companies who have next generation medicine in their pipeline.
So, thank you very much.
Wow. Thank you very much for that presentation. I mean, lots of information to absorb. Dwayne, is it possible that we could have a copy of the slides for the women so that they can study the material?
Most certainly, we'll send them as well as the links to contact points for the people in the team as well.
That would be great. So if you could identify again the people on your team and the areas that they cover, we'll try to connect the appropriate entrepreneur with the appropriate trade commissioner, if that's okay with you. All right. The other thing is, I just wanted to also mention to the team that they've not met our team, most of them. So AW, put up your hand. This is AW. He's our program manager for the missions, for a series of our missions. And we've got Nadine Oliver. She's handling all the logistics. Her background's in urban geography, urban planning. And Nathan, are you online? Nathan Stewart. He's our economic, geographic economist, and he will also help the women, the entrepreneurs. If you have questions, specific questions, he will also liaise with the CTOT team, but also he is doing research, market analysis and whatnot for the delegates. So if you have questions, feel free to contact him as well. And who else do we have on AW? Is Sean Jones on? I can't see everybody.
The
I've
whole
only
team
seen
is on. Jordan, Sean, Nate are also on.
Okay, so Jordan is on our team, and just put up your hands because I can't see everybody. And Sean Jones, she's doing a lot of the looking after the brochure, editing all the information that's going into print. So that's our team. And I'm going to say now, if we have about 10 minutes that we could do a Q&A with. So anybody who has a question, this is your opportunity face-to-face to ask questions to our CTOT team. So raise your hands. Any questions? And just unmute yourself because I can't see everybody. I don't know who wants to ask any questions.
I see Nujat and Madeline.
Okay, Madeline, go ahead.
Yeah, hello. I was just wondering which commissioner is dealing with consumer packaged goods.
So we have an officer who's away right now. Her name is Anjit Sai. She's doing consumer packaged goods. But she works with a greater team as well with me. So it depends on the packaged good. That's a tough one because sometimes the packaged good itself or the industry sector, depending on what you want, will have different entryways. But there is Angie Sai is the one in charge.
Okay, yeah, I just wasn't sure because our products are health related and they're also sustainable, and I was just trying to piece out who we should be working with this time around, because obviously my meeting with Julia was very fruitful and helpful, but maybe things have changed. So
no, Julia still runs the team in the background, so we often work together. We tend not to just silo into one person because there's a lot of experience involved in the team, so whoever can bring something to it, we often just have a meeting and discuss how can we help.
Great. Nujat?
Hi, I have one question. I just wanted to know, like, I know the conference is on March 1st and 2nd, but when do we know if we have any B2B? I know we have to do a video and that probably will be passed around, but when do we know that we have some B2B set up?
That's a great question into the segue into me introducing to you Henry Shea. Henry, put up your hand. Hi. He's a representative from the Taiwan Institute of Economic Research, and we have contracted Henry's group to find companies to match, in addition to the CTOT team, of course. We've got a number of people working to get the B2B matches for you, but Henry is going to be scheduling it. TIER is the research institute, but they're going to be developing a schedule, and he will be contacting each and every one of you, first of all, to meet on a platform, but as well to, he's got all of the company profiles that we've sent to him, and they'll be looking to do the B2B. And the actual meetings will be scheduled for after the virtual mission, after March the 2nd. So going into the month of March, for the whole month, you'll be getting scheduled meetings. They're all being personalized and individualized, so we will have the schedules for you hopefully by the time we do the actual virtual mission. Okay? AW, anything to add on that front? And why don't we bring in Henry? I can't see Henry,
Yes.
but Henry, do you want to say a few words?
Yes. Good evening. My name is Henry, and I'm from the Taiwan Institute of Economic Research, and we will be helping you on arranging the B2B meetings. So currently, we are conducting test runs with all the delegates, and I believe that some of you have already completed the test run with our colleague Patricia, and some of you will be conducting the test run right after this meeting. And throughout the week after the Lunar New Year, we will be conducting the test run with you. And the procedure is that in the test run, we'll have to make sure that everyone's equipment is sufficient for the B2B meetings, and also that we will confirm about what partners that you're looking for in Taiwan, and that we will let you try out the function of the BlueJeans platform. And after the meetings, we'll be sending a survey to you to survey your time when you're available for the B2B meetings. And the meetings that we're planning is basically on the first week and the second week of March. But if we have but we can extend that to the end of the month if it's needed. So after we have confirmed the times to meet on both sides, from the Taiwanese side and the Canadian side, we will be sending you invitations of the actual meetings. And during the actual meeting time, you can just click on the meeting and join the meetings. And basically, that is the procedures that we're going to conduct afterwards from now on until the end of this mission for the B2B meetings.
So if you get contacted by Henry, it's not a random cold whatever. So don't reject his email, okay? He's the one. He's very important to us because at the end of the day, our main objective is to get some deals and partnerships for our delegates. So he's playing a key important role for us. So, okay. But as well as Dwayne's team, they're fantastic, and they're separated by sector. They're specialists in the various sectors that you delegates represent. And so any information, market intelligence or whatnot, you have questions, I encourage you to contact the Trade Commissioner Service because I can't say enough about this team. They are so enthusiastic, and from the get-go, they've been extremely helpful and wanting to help the delegates. So please reach out and contact them. We'll get the contact information and share it with all of you when we get their listed. Yep.
Sorry, we're just going to jump there. So when we send the information on the follow-up, what we'll do is we've actually have a couple of pre-recorded webinars. One is on how to pitch to Taiwanese investors and partners. Another one is on Taiwan's ICT industry overview, more in depth. And then another one we have on Taiwan's digital health and medtech overview. We have some good, fantastic speakers, so we'll share those as well when we pass along the information.
Perfect, and especially the day session today with the federal government representatives and the crown agencies. We talked about the pitch session, and so if you have a webinar, especially on how to pitch to Taiwanese audience, that's very helpful. So we'd like to definitely have that webinar. That would be fantastic. But please share all of that because we'll make those tools available to them. So that they do better prepare for the session. They've been asked to make, each company will be producing a video pitch for 10 minutes each. So that webinar would be very helpful in advance before they do their taping. Okay?
Sorry, this is Dwayne here. I'd like to say one thing as well one of the best ways that we can help you is I think we have to have some discussions with the individual owners and CEOs to to get an idea of what your expectations are, what would be the best way to help you so that we're working in the right direction. So we'll quickly provide you some names of contact points here that will reach out to you and ask beyond your database, but also maybe have a conversation with you either online or by email, whichever works best for you, to get an idea of how we can work in the right direction, along with Henry, that we talk to Henry every day. So and with working back there to see with our partners here in Taiwan as well about how we can best serve you. Right?
That would be fantastic. Are you, is your office open or closed during Chinese New Year?
Technically, we have 2 days off, but a lot of people are taking their own flexible holidays because most families take a break during this week coming up.
Okay.
Usually until the 17th is Chinese New Year, and it'll be tough to make connections during that time as most people are traveling back to see families.
Okay.
But Rupert and I will be here, and so will Julia.
Great.
Julia will be studying Ukrainian.
No, that's very generous of you. Thank you very much. And you know, from the other trade missions we've done, we've encouraged all the delegates to reach out to their trade commissioner in order to get help, because we know that you do fantastic work. So I can't encourage you enough, delegates, to reach out to the appropriate trade commissioner in Taipei. Okay. Any other questions or any comments or any final words? I'm conscious of the time here. I know that Nikita is already at 11 o'clock in her time from Newfoundland. So
a lot of you have already reached out on LinkedIn, I will say. So I encourage you to do that. Every officer here at the mission has a LinkedIn account as well. All the officers. So there are various ways to reach us.
Fantastic. Well, with no further ado, thank you very much, Dwayne and Rupert and the team from and Julia from the CTOT. And thank you, delegates, for, it's been a long day today. I know a lot of time on the webinar, but I hope that you found this useful. We'll get a copy of the presentation from today, the whole day, and share it with you as well. Okay? Thank you very much.
Sorry, I wanted to say thank you as well to the delegates. I think we found your presentations probably more useful than you found ours, because now we know more about you and you're an impressive group. So we're excited to work with you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Have a good evening.